There's a lot of people back there. They must have some questions.
Blake, you got a question? oh, my friend was there. Go ahead.
Well, I'm from Greenwich and New Haven as well. And I was just wondering what you think of the recent immigration bills that are now in D.C. and what do you have different ideas, what you think of them, just sort of a general take on the issue?
Yeah, I think America is a nation of immigrants. We're proud of our immigrant forebears. They bring energy, they bring ambition, they bring drive to a country. I was sort of amused by a comment in Tom Friedman's op-ed piece today. They said, look, there are a lot of countries that really keep immigrants out. Take, for example, Switzerland. They don't let immigrants in there. They're really tough about that. And what's their last great innovation? The Cuckoo Club. So I'm proud of our immigrants, and we've got to face facts with reality as well. 10, 11, 12 million immigrants in this country, and a lot of them have been here for a long time. The kids that I teach at Bridgeport High School, their children, their parents have been here a long time. They're, in many ways, as American as anybody. And they deserve a path to legal status, and I believe they deserve a path to citizenship. I would also say that we're also a nation of laws. And I don't think that any of us or liberals can forget that. I think it's very important that along with a citizenship track for our immigrants, we also ought to be firm in terms of being tough on illegal immigration. I think the idea of putting the barbed wire and walls and all that is sort of window dressing. At the end of the day, employers are willing to hire aliens who come across the border. People are going to come, no matter what we do about that. So I think we have to enforce the employer sanctions in a way that we have not been doing, and that's what we've stopped doing over the last 5 years. But fundamentally, I'd say I'm pro-immigrant, I'm pro-legal immigration. I do worry a little bit about the provision for 400,000 less skilled immigrants coming across the border every year, because I think at some point you begin to depress wages and the such. They say Americans won't pick lettuce. Well, they won't pick lettuce at $7 an hour, but they'll pick lettuce at $9 an hour or $10 for a living wage. So I think we've got to be serious about that.
One more question, and then Ned will hang out for a little bit to talk with you.
Yes, sir.
Hi, Mr. Lamont. My name is Brian Edwards, and I'm with Yale College Democrats. First of all, I'd love to see some debates, you and Joe. And second, I'd like to hear what your agenda is for Connecticut and how you would use your position in the Senate to help out dealing with problems that are specific to Connecticut and local issues in general.
Sure. First of all, as a proud Yale Democrat, you've got Joe and I are both Yale Democrats in our own way. I went to Yale Management School. So invite us to a debate. That's how we get these debates. Send it out, and I guarantee you one of us will be there. Let's talk about Connecticut. I think it's really important. I mean, when Mark Twain lived in Hartford, it was one of the richest cities in the world. And New Haven, Bridgeport, Waterbury, these were strong manufacturing-based, good-paying jobs. That's what our state was all about, and that, to some degree, is what our country was all about. We have lost manufacturing jobs faster than our peers in other states right now, and we see what these jobs are being replaced with. So we've got to do a couple of things. You know, when it comes to specific to Connecticut, one thing that I believe that provides good-paying jobs today and helps our competitive future is a real infrastructure upgrade. I'm from part of the state where the Miami River Bridge collapsed. We've got all the gubernatorial candidates are saying we've got a public transportation system in this state that's a disaster. Is it $1 billion or $3 billion to upgrade? Depends what you want to do. Integrate light rail into that. I teach courses at Bridgeport in a building that's almost 100 years old. We've got sewage treatment facilities that are polluting the sound. You know, we're an old country in some ways, and we're an old part of the country, and a lot of our infrastructure is 50, 60, 75 years old. So that's one answer to your question in terms of how do we make Connecticut more competitive is infrastructure upgrade. You know, from there, I think we've really got to focus on our big cities. We've got to co-locate affordable housing and quality education and jobs. And I'll put a little bit of an onus here on Yale and UConn. I mean, you look what Stanford University and Stanford Engineering was able to create in terms of Silicon Valley, And you look at MIT and Harvard, I got to say it, and Route 128 up there, and what they've been able to create in terms of good-paying jobs, leveraging off of the educational base there. And we've got to do a better job of that here in Connecticut. You know, if I was a governor and thinking about strategically where we ought to be focusing our educational dollars and job creation, I'd say certainly in the pharmaceuticals and drugs and healthcare, it's a growth industry. And with Bristol Myers and Pfizer, we've got a running head start there. And I'd also talk about energy. I'd talk about a lot of the basic research we need so we'll be able to compete in the future. Based with our manufacturing base we have here in this state, I think we can be at the forefront of coming up with new and innovative technologies that make us independent. Hey, look, everybody, I'm going to leave it here, but I'm going to hang around because I used to come here all the time. I like this place. And I'd love to talk to you. But I just want you to know a couple of things. A, this race is very doable. B, it's worth doing. And C, I can't do it without your help. I need your help on a number of different fronts. I see we've got some guys from town committees here. As I suggested, we're going to do okay at the town committee level. In their heart, I think people are really with us, but we got to keep pushing people. We got to say Lamont deserves his fair share of delegates. You were there at the New Haven deal. I mean, we need all the help we can get there. Secondly, it's grassroots. You got to pass the word to your friends. You got to get your friends to sign up on NedLamont.com. Believe me, you'll be hearing from us. As it gets closer to the petition drive and then gets closer to the primary, it's a grassroots operation, and I need every single person on the ground because, Party Central is going to have their own way of getting out the vote, and ours is going to be at the ground level up. But because of the passion and energy that I'm feeling as we go around the state, a real sense that we want to change. It's not working the way it's going right now. We need somebody to challenge the Bush administration where they're wrong. They are so wrong on all the issues we've discussed. That's why I'm going to need you. Thanks a lot for being here, everybody.